In 2 years and 8 months, I have paid off more than 50% of my 30-year mortgage, and I'm not stopping there. Hi everyone, this is Daniel with Sense Ananti, and welcome back. This channel started with the DV lottery journey, and that chapter was important because it was part of how I got here in the United States. But I'm now in a different season of my life, and this channel is moving with me into that new phase. Over the last few years, my focus has shifted towards 3 things that are very practical, very personal, and very real. Paying off my mortgage early, building useful apps even though I do not have any coding background, and living more deliberately instead of just moving through life on default mode. And the reason I'm making this video is simple. This is not a random switch. This is what I have actually been working on behind the scenes, and I want to bring you into that. Let me start with the mortgage because that is where a major part of this story really begins. When I bought my home in summer of 2023, the loan amount was $378,000. The interest rate was 5.625%. The term was 30 years, and the monthly payment was $2,175.98 cents. This doesn't include property tax or insurance. This is just the principal and the interest payments to the lender. Once I ran the numbers, I saw very clearly that if I just followed the regular default schedule and paid nothing extra towards the principal, I would end up paying over $400,000 in interest over the life of the loan. That did not sit well with me at all. I personally do not like debt, and to be in servitude for 30 years, that was very sacrilegious. I had no desire to carry that debt for 3 solid decades and spending that much money on interest component alone, when I could take a more intentional approach and pay the mortgage off down much faster. Someone once said, whatever you cannot define, you cannot dominate, and whatever you cannot dominate will eventually dominate you. So I made a plan with a different strategy. What I did was simple, but I stayed consistent with it. I built an Excel mortgage payoff tracker and used it to track every payment made and every extra payment made to the principal. It's worth noting that once you actually see the numbers, you stop treating debt like something abstract and you start dealing with it like a real target. The strategy was simple. Every month, I apply a fixed extra payment directly towards the principal. Any windfall that comes in, that is interest from savings account, credit card cashback, side hustle earnings, all of that goes directly to the principal payment. If there is any surplus left in the budget, that goes to the principal too. And I always round up the mortgage balance to the nearest 100, so there's no decimal sitting there. On a yearly basis, I apply bonus from my main job and tax refunds directly towards the principal of the mortgage. Dr. Monroe once said, more money without management only increases stress. More income without discipline only increases appetite. That actually stuck with me because without the tracking and the structure behind it, those extra payments would have just turned into extra spending. As of March 2026, I have crossed the halfway mark. More than 50% of the mortgage is gone. The total principal paid so far is $216,840. The remaining balance is now $161,160, and the total interest saved $328,000 in just 2 years and 8 months. That is not luck. That is not a shortcut. That is steady and consistent execution of extra payment towards the principal. And this is exactly why I keep on telling friends and family, tracking is just not about recording numbers. It's about making things possible because now you have clarity and structure. Once you start seeing progress right in front of you, it becomes easier to stay focused. You stop guessing, you stop drifting, and more especially, you start making decisions with purpose. And that tracking habit is what led me to build PayOff Pro. At some point, I realized the spreadsheet was just not helping me keep track. It was keeping me committed. The clarity and momentum it gave me was powerful. And that is when I started thinking, if this is helping me this much, why not build something that other people on the same mortgage payoff journey can pick up and use right away without having to start from scratch? That is how PayOff Pro, an iOS app, came to life. I'm not a technical person with coding background, But with AI assistance, specifically my beloved Claude Code, I decided to transform my Excel tracker into an iOS app because I understood the problem from the inside, and I had a vision to make it simple and practical for others to track and stay on top of their journey as well. So after 4 months of building, PayOff Pro became the next step in this journey. I did not build an app just for the sake of building an app. I built it because it came out of my own real experience, real numbers, and real progress. And that same mindset is what is shaping the new direction of this channel. Going forward, this channel is no longer about one chapter of my life. It's about 3 things that I'm living out every single day. 1. Paying off strategies and debunking the myth that keep people stuck. 2. Building apps with zero coding background. And 3. Living deliberately through the decisions I make around money, relationships, and how I structure my everyday life. This is coming from real experience that's mine and other people's journey as well. In addition, this is another reason why I built my payoffpro.com and senseananti.com, because I wanted a broader home for all these things, a place where the content, the tools, and the larger mission can all live together in one space. So if you are here because you followed the DV content before, I appreciate you. Thank you for staying connected. And if you are here because you are interested in mortgage freedom, building apps, or intentional living, this channel is now built for that too. This new chapter is to show people that progress doesn't always begin with something dramatic. Sometimes it begins with a spreadsheet. Sometimes it begins with tracking one payment at a time. And other times, it begins with one decision to take your finances seriously and keep moving in that direction. And that's what happened here. This channel is where I share the journey, the real lessons, the real tools, the real numbers, and the ideas that come out of all of it. If anything in this video spoke to you, stick around. There's a lot more coming. Thank you for watching and welcome to the new chapter of Sense Ananti. Catch you in the next one. Cheers.